the moment in those crucial 6 years or 10 years or whatever it is, what we mostly have are solar panels and windmills and batteries. We have the possibility, in other words, to, and here the Methodist Sunday school teacher part of my personality comes out. We have the capacity to stop relying on energy from hell and start relying on energy from heaven. The power of the fossil fuel industry remains enormous. Let me give you an illustration. Every year, the world comes together for one of these Conference of the Parties climate negotiations in November. This year, they're holding it in Abu Dhabi, and the president, the chair or the moderator, whatever, the guy who's running the conference that's designed to take on climate change, is the head of the Abu Dhabi oil company, which has announced plans to expand its drilling 30% over the next 5 years. I mean, we're reaching a kind of Gilbert and Sullivan level of, farce in some of this. Good at appealing to whichever half it is that is a more visceral, perceives the world more viscerally. And that's why we spend a lot of time on art and music when we do this work. And that's become more and more true as we've, especially now as we're organizing, people my age. When those kids come up and say, "Okay, boomer," which, by the way, is pretty mild compared with "don't trust anyone over 30." But when they say that, I always say, "Yeah. But you know what? Our generation did produce the best music of all time." And so it's why we've made it real clear from the start. Some of the first people we rounded up to go to work with us were Neil Young and Bette Midler and Carole King and stuff. I was spending the morning on the phone. We're going to do sort of an organizing tour later in the fall, and the big hope, and I think this morning that we get it nailed down, is that Patti Smith will join us for part of it, and I can just see the end of the evening where she's singing her great hit, "People Have the Power," and everybody is joining in, because that's what movements are. They're an assertion that we have enough power, even now, to stand up to the extraordinary concentrations of wealth and power that want to keep us locked where we are. And we have to figure out ways to get past that. And some of the time it takes dramatic action, It always feels silly to be going to jail in order to get, in order to get our leaders to pay attention to physics. It seems stupid, but sometimes that's what it takes, and it's been good in the last couple of years to see more and more and more scientists joining in kind of fight.
When I'm up, gave my heart to someone else. She done turned me down.
is astounding. And, you know, the reason I made this film is, you know, the generation that survived the Holocaust is disappearing very quickly. I think people don't realize that, but in the next few years, you know, these voices that shaped my life, and probably many lives here, will be gone forever. And the timing couldn't be worse. I mean, we're seeing extremism rising in the US and certainly in Europe. And this is our last chance to hear from them. So, you know, the film was my way of pushing my grandmother, who I love, to tell me her story, and she really never had in detail before. She had never told my mom her story.
Wow.
And no one ever really asked her. And, you know, I think all of us have things we wish we asked our loved ones. And I'd encourage all of you to do that with the time you have. And, you know, the mission of the film is to get this in front of as many students as possible. So it's going to be out in October. We're trying to push it into hundreds of schools. So if anyone's an educator, knows of any grants, anything like that, you know, feel free to find me, reach out to me. We're hoping that this film can make a difference. So thank you so much.
The winner of this year's Audience Choice Award goes to Gabriella Copperthwaite's film, The Grab. So I guess we should bring Nate back because Gabriella wasn't able to be here. Nate Halverson, fearless reporter.
Thank you all so much. I don't have anything prepared to say, so I'll just speak from the heart, which is, I think, you know, all the filmmakers out here know how hard it is to make something. I mean, making anything, it's like a family coming together to birth something new. And at the beginning of it, in its infancy, you wake up in the middle of the night with this screaming, red-faced thing that you're trying to get done that wants all of your attention. And I think just like family that are co-parenting, you all begin to sort of infight a little bit in the process of trying to put this thing out into the world. You know, and Gabriella, we were so lucky to have her as part of this. I mean, her vision and storytelling. Gabriella, who's a Boulder, Colorado native, pairing her up with me, who also grew up in Colorado, and with the editor, who's in Denver. It really is a Colorado crew that put this together. And I'd be super remiss, though, if I didn't take the time to thank the people that were willing to talk to us. People like Femi, who in Zambia opened her tent, her life, to express her trauma with us so that we could share what had happened to her. As her land, her family, her friends were taken from her as they were loaded up onto a flatbed and put into a forest. She watched her home bulldozed. She watched her child die. She watched her husband die. This year she died at the age of 54. You know, and there's people, though, like Brig, who are incredible and wake up at the start of every morning tirelessly fighting against the tide of tyranny that always seems to be there, presented in the face of those who are bereft of power, stripped of sovereignty. And he's just incredible, and he opened up his life and his work, and he trusted us, despite everything he puts on the line, to bring the cameras in and show what he does so that we could show the world what is happening. So I have great gratitude for Brig. And I kind of got like into some fire and brimstone stuff there, which, full disclosure, my father was a Lutheran pastor, but we're not really known for the fire and brimstone stuff. And then this film festival is incredible. It's incredible.
incredible work that everybody here does. The community that is gathered, the films, the programming, the panels, everything is amazing. Back to this, thank you guys again. This is particularly meaningful because inspiring the youth is everything. I mean, you guys are our future. You guys are going to have to fix all the problems that the generation before me caused. And we're trying to set you all up, in part by making films that are communicating super important things. And I think that the goal of any filmmaker here is to do something that makes an impression on you guys and inspires you all to leave the world a better place. So I hope Full Circle does that in some way.
Our film is about a youth orchestra in Los Angeles. It's called the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles, and it's the largest majority black orchestra in the country. This is something to note because in the orchestra workforce, only 1.8% of the workforce is black. That hasn't changed in 40 years. There's a new study coming out in June reporting an update on that study, and that number has not changed in the last 40 years. Our film is about a conductor named Chuck. He's a force of nature. He is a generous soul who's dedicated his life to creating a community where kids of color, Latino kids as well, can play music with people that look like them. And we're just so thankful for this award, and we're so thankful to this community, Mountainfilm, who has given us just such a warm welcome. Thank you to Mountainfilm for bringing the orchestra and giving them the experience of their life, seeing giant, beautiful mountains for the first time. We appreciate this so much, and we're just so grateful. Seriously, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just like lost for words. I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much. Like, I'll let the producer do the talking. Thank you.
Thank you. What Sam said, I mean, last I checked, we all eat food, and as consumers, we have a lot of power to shape policy. It's a farm bill year, so you can call your elected officials, and you can also just make conscious decisions about what you buy and where you buy and who you buy it from, and that's like the easiest place to start from. It really is a situation where when you care about where your food comes from, it benefits the farmers, it benefits your health, and it benefits our planet. So, just, I don't know, fucking say this crazy.
Yeah, I got tears, man. Thank you so much.
Toni Cade Bambara, a feminist, black, and a novelist, said, "Sisterhood is a verb. It implies a doing." And it's in this spirit that the 2023 Women in Film Award is given to a film that talks about a bunch of women with different color skin and different sexual orientation that got together to play football. The prize goes to the Hurricane.
This is amazing. It's very humbling to be considered in the company of someone as incredible as Hillary Nelson. I only hope that we can continue her spirit, her indomitable spirit that this film festival celebrates. My power is filmmaking, and I was able to find that power because I had every opportunity to do so. I didn't have parents who told me that I couldn't do something because I was a girl, and I think that that's something that we can pass on to the next generation, that forward-moving thinking that it doesn't matter what gender you are, what color your skin is, you're capable of anything that you set your mind to.
Incredible level of talent in this community. The number of projects getting made and ideas and images and things getting seared into our minds. What a remarkable thing. Thank you to Mountainfilm for making it possible. Now, every single one of these, almost every one of these films are about truly important things that have to change. And so our job now, having been revivified by 3 or 4 days of beautiful mountain air and extraordinary company and great art, is to go home and
make them change. So that's our job. Many thanks, y'all.